Cool. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our next webinar in our series for NetSuite. And this topic today, what we will present is Alta Via Tax Europe, which is practically one platform to calculate, control, and of course to report all your VAT across all your European countries. So my name is Arthur. I'm the head of sales here at Alta Via Applications. With me today is Natalia, our head of products, with multiple years of finance and accounting background as well. And a quick outlook to who we are. Many of you know us as Alta Via Consulting, already the first partner in Germany for NetSuite. We have branded our new apps company as Applications since last year. So we are actually transforming all our knowledge that we have gathered for the past 15 years into so-called bundles, suite apps that we built entirely for NetSuite, specifically for NetSuite. We are branding a new European localization hub for all our customers in NetSuite that operate globally only in Europe. And as in our previous webinar, you have seen we also have a few AI integrations built specifically also for NetSuite. And today we are focusing on tax, which is part of our European localization. So this is, as mentioned, practically built and proven by many years of experience. We have multiple customers already using our solutions, which were part of consulting work in the past and have been developed into the Suite app now, into a bundle. We cover multiple VAT scenarios in Europe, more than 50 across different verticals, across different multiple scenarios. So you can think of shipping details for your e-commerce clients. You can think of certain exempt tax codes for software services that you might have. So we really focus on those core industries, as mentioned, e-commerce, software services, professional services, and any other key areas where you have multiple VAT scenarios. So practically not as simple as, for example, in Germany, I'm going to pay 19%. But what if you pay outside? What if you have a warehouse in a different location that you send it to into another European country? So everything is built inside NetSuite. So this is also one of our core strengths. The application is native to NetSuite. So all the VAT scenarios, all your tax codes is what we will use in our application to replicate and to control the correct tax coding and to report the correct tax reports back to your financial institute. With that being said, I'm going to hand over to Natalia, who will guide you through our application, explain you all these scenarios, or some of them, and of course show you a little bit of a sneak peek how it looks like in NetSuite.
Thank you, Arthur. Thank you, everyone who is joining us today. We know your time is valuable, and that's why we value your input as well. Yes, as Arthur already said, so we're going to speak about not probably very sexy topic, VAT, European VAT. And well, it's probably not a problem of NetSuite, how VAT works in Europe, right? Why is it so? Because we have dozen of scenarios just coming from number of European countries. It's 27, if you still remember. And we definitely have a lot of cross-border complexity. We have a different contract-specific rules, mixed business models, a lot of edge cases you're coming to us with. And it's not a question like how to handle it, but initially NetSuite was built up for sales tax. And even if it looks like VAT and seems to behave like VAT, it's handled differently in Europe. Therefore, there is a lot of problems which should be solved inside NetSuite. And initially, yes, of course, the majority of our customers, approximately maybe 80+%, still using a legacy tax, which covers basics, but it's a bit outdated already, and we're supporting our customers to fulfill compliance requirements with legacy tax. Even suit tax, which came to our market, and we're using it in Europe for the rest of our customers, probably 10% of them. It's modern, but yet still have some little gaps, and we're trying to bring our customers to full compliance, also helping them to navigate in suite tax and legacy tax together in NetSuite. Therefore, we've decided to, based on your feedback, because you are people who are helping us to build our bundles, to build our products. All our products are based on your feedback, on your request, and based on a lot of your feedbacks and requests scenarios. So we basically built our EU Tax Europe, Alta Via Tax Europe. Sorry. Arthur already mentioned that we are covering almost all scenarios. Yes, it's 50 plus. I counted it myself. We checked it. Here on the screen, you see how we can help you in different ways, in different industries. Of course, on top, I'm putting like a complex edge cases. As I already mentioned, you're mainly coming to us when you're struggling to navigate and when you're struggling to accommodate NetSuite to your requirements. We split it also by industries for you to see if you belong to specific industry. Probably it's already the questions, sorry, and problems which you are having a look at. So some issues. For supply chain and warehousing, there is a lot of requests coming from integration with Amazon warehousing, call of stocks, cross-border inventory transfers. There is obviously questions for B2C, B2B businesses, and VAT registrations, which is either existing or not. Digital services as well, reverse charge, different thresholds, mixed B2B, B2C models, services and consultings, again, intra-community deliveries, on-site remote services, different risks, which is coming from permanent establishments, how you're setting up your subsidiary structure. And of course, in commerce and retail, the majority of our customers are struggling with this as thresholds and schedules and how you're using reduced taxes and how you're doing the reporting for OSS, web shop integrations, and whatnot, you name it. And I think from the list of visitors to our webinar, so basically all of you once or twice or many times, so have some special projects together when we're trying to cover these complex scenarios for you so you can properly identify VAT liability, properly record it, have an audit trail, and then properly pay it and have afterwards a compliance and being able to answer the questions for tax authorities. Well, this slide we're repeating in a different ways on our different webinars for different our products. And this is very important for me that I say this and you see you have this information. We're not creating something new or out of the box or totally on top or somehow replacing NetSuite logic. We value and use what is already done in NetSuite. And I already mentioned, right? So there is a legacy tax, there is a suit tax. Still, both of them have some compliance gaps, which is minor, probably not affecting a lot your top C4 level. However, a lot of workarounds and manual work for your accountants. And we're basically trying based on what is already in NetSuite for legacy and NetSuite and suite tax. We're trying to build on top of it, just closing these little gaps and trying to help our accountants to really have a full compliance layer. So when you can be sure that you recorded everything correctly, that you are defined everything correctly, and then you can control your numbers and then you can report them. So we will speak about this on other slides on another section of our webinar, what exactly we're doing for legacy and suite tax. However, you already see that a lot of things are done by NetSuite, yeah? So this is as a basic VAT handling for legacy tax, as well as already more defined, more robust VAT validation rules, submissions, VAT ID checks, reduced OSS tax codes and whatnot for sweet tax, there is still opportunity to make it better. That's what we're doing, and we're working for you. So what are we offering with our Alta Via Tax Europe? We're basically giving you 4 layers. First of all, it's a core engine. It's a transaction tax logic. We give you an opportunity accurately determine VAT across all transaction types. We support different scenarios with OSS, reduced rates, cross-border services, and whatnot. As I already mentioned, we're supporting both legacy and sweet tax. Please don't be shy, and if you already moved to sweet tax, still come to us. We will probably find what can help you more. And we, as a daily consulting and product business, yeah, we're working together. So we basically handle real life complexity every day and a lot of edge cases. Another layer, which is very important for a lot of us here, is the compliance and control layer. One of it is like Ask Alta Via. It's our engine which validates tax logic per transaction. I will show you a short demo a bit later today. Also, what is important, the VAT ID check. We have automated European validation, and we store evidence on a customer and vendor records, so you can have an audit trail and present it to your tax authorities. We also have an opportunity to detect exceptions and flag them accordingly, so you can investigate them. And once again, I already mentioned multiple times, for everything we have an audit trail. So you store the validation, you store the results of the scripts, which is working behind in the background in your system, how you determine VAT and whatnot. And what is more important, that you have an access to this audit trails and you can present it to tax authorities and to management and your team and whatnot. So you have a history of what you're doing. Another layer, which is also important for the majority of people present today at the webinar, is the reporting and audit layer. So in here, we're going not just simply customizing native NetSuite reporting, yeah, so to what extent you can customize the VAT return form, also providing you an opportunity to link and send your reports via API connection. We already have it for Germany, for Elster. We have a roadmap how we want to cover the major European countries. Also, so their accountants able to send the reports from NetSuite without downloading or without any manual input into local websites for tax authorities. And of course, we have an assortment of dashboards created. I also will be showing it today, where you can navigate in NetSuite, you can control your taxes and whatnot. And it's basically created for everyone, for CFOs, for directors, as well as for tax accountants and whatnot. So every level of financial department, every member of financial department probably will find something interesting there and can use it in their daily work. And of course, we're very proud, as usual, here that we're trying to make our bundle super user-friendly as the majority of our products. We're trying to do it really user-friendly. Therefore, we're trying to, and doing a good job in delivering it quickly, to have a centralized setup and layout, a rollout layer, when you can localize one country, install your features, and do configurations and settings, and then effortlessly move it to other subsidiaries, other countries. So you have all settings on one page. You can navigate through this page. We have a wonderful knowledge base where you can check how to do the settings. Of course, you have our support, but all in all, we do not need a month to install it. Yeah, we need 1 or 2 days, some hours to do this. Then we can teach you how to do it, and you can do any modifications and adjustments without our support. Of course, if you need it, we're here. However, basically, it's rather user-friendly with a lot of help hints, and it makes your life rather easy to control things and in your accounting department, in your settings, and to understand how it works. And I think this is very important when you have this transparency and feeling that you can control it, and it makes your VAT journey much more pleasant. Okay, so let us jump to the features which we have and which we want to present for you. You already know probably, because these features we're already using with some of our customers for different topics, like which is missing in legacy tax, for example. You still can stay with the legacy tax. We know that NetSuite team is heavily promoting to transfer to suite tax opportunities and whatnot. But if you still prefer to stay with legacy tax, we still can support you, because there are still some minor gaps which we can cover, so you can be fully compliant with the legal requirements in Germany and other countries in Europe. So this is basically missing tax point date, OSS reduced rates, audit logs, which we're covering. We're helping you with manual rates and discounts handling and whatnot. So basically, we're staying here. You know how we work, and normally this was already done in many years. So we're doing this many years. We're supporting a legacy tax. So we're still staying. We're not moving anywhere. We're still supporting our customers. Please come to us if you have any questions, how to do compliance, gap clearance, and whatnot. So we're still here. For suite tax, we also have expertise. It's a good solution. It's getting better every year. Still, we're trying to provide our customers with a clean, user-friendly user interface. We're supporting all transactions, which is probably yet missed from suite tax coverage. We close some key functional gaps also with validation of the transactions. We're really trying to give the level of compliance and control which is necessary for Europe and being able to operate with a suite tax. If you already transferred to suite tax or you're thinking about this, please come to us. We will be happy to hold your hand and support you in this. And also, probably we'll have a look at our solution and it can be of use for you. Well, coming to the compliance and control layer, there is a beautiful engine which we call Alta Via. So basically, with this engine, we give you an opportunity to independently validate tax on every transaction. What is usually happening, you have a multiple tax calculation source, some information coming from NetSuite. You have a lot of integrations with e-commerce platforms, some other external integrations, you name it, MOS, Zone, whatever. Yeah, so how you're doing this. And every solution, every integration has an ability and probably already calculate and may calculate tax differently. So at the end of the day, you have assortment of different transactions with a different tax logic and probably not fully covering the proper VAT calculation. So what we're offering you is like an engine called Alta Via, where you can put all your tax rules and check it with your tax accountant, with your tax consultant, and then you can use this engine on every transaction as a control. You can check every transaction with this engine, and then if it validates the transaction, everything is okay, it's matched, it's green, it has a green light, we can record it and we can report it to tax authorities. If it has some mismatches, we have a couple of versions. Either you can flag it or autocorrect, depends on how many transactions you have. Obviously, if you have a lot of integrations with thousands of transactions, probably you would prefer to autocorrect them and then get a report. We'll have a look a bit later. And of course, results are stored. That's the most important thing, right? If you are getting from integration some VAT rate which is not matching your tax engine, which is not matching the preferences, how you want to record your taxes, and this tax rate is changed, then you have an audit trail with explanation why it was done. As an example, some of you probably have some OSS businesses when you are trading with individual customers, namely B2C. And if you have some reduced rates across the countries of Europe, it has some difficulties, and NetSuite is really struggling to handle it, especially for legacy tax. So with this engine, you basically can check all your transactions and apply the rates properly. I will show you what it means in a short demo. So let me start it. So basically, as you already see, it's built in every transaction. So first of all, it's very easy to set up. On the configuration page, you need to populate special tax rules in related records. We're helping you to do this at first. So for example, here we have a case of reduced rates for Spain. You can also populate your tax rules into Excel, as usual, just to check if you're doing everything correctly. We love it, we're accountants. So here's the scenario that you have a reduced tax rate, but by NetSuite rules, it's picking up the standard rate, right? So it's not properly recording the VAT rate. It's 21%, though in Spain it should be 10%. You're pushing button Ask Alta Via, and then engine calculates and replaces the rate to proper one, to 10%. Of course, this is manual input. You can also automate it. And also, you will have an opportunity to navigate via dashboard on the reporting page. You can see the transactions, which were done, which were changed, how many transactions performed well or some errors. There is a status report, so you can navigate and check what was done. So basically, we're trying to bring you tax compliance on autopilot. Once again, to reiterate everything here, so we have an independent validation of all transactions on every level. You can flexibly control what is happening with your transactions. You can either check it or autocorrect. It can be manual or fully automated. It doesn't mean that you need to push Ask Alta Via button on every transaction. There can be also automated workflows. It's integration ready. This is critical basically because the majority of our customers already have a lot of integrations. What we're doing, we're not interfering with any integration. We're just picking information which is already recorded in NetSuite and proving if it was correct or not. We're auditing what is already recorded in NetSuite. So we're basically able to adjust all different scenarios, right? You do not need, and probably there is no sometimes opportunity to put all scenarios in the script. And of course, you can have some exception rules and whatnot also recorded in the script, and you can use it. You can basically construct your own tax system, which you can has a control of, and then it can control all your transactions and handle the mistakes. And of course, it's audit proof. That's one of the important part for us in compliance proof, in a compliance proof way, because we need that we store the validation results on the records. You have full traceability. So that's our Ask Alta Via engine. And there is also a couple of things which we're covering in compliance and control layer. One of it is VAT validation. You probably work a long time already in NetSuite, and you know that you need to validate intra-community delivery taxes. So if you have proper VAT records on your customers and vendors, so you can use their preferential VAT rates. What we're doing, we're covering this gap when you cannot store, and you should store all the details from your checks. So we have this now built up for also for Sweet Tax as well, and also for the full Europe, not only for Germany, so you can check it only from Germany or from any other local country, but basically we're covering the full Europe. And also, still the same. So we have additional dashboards. I will speak about it also later, where you can validate and control your VAT check results. But basically, it gives you an opportunity to stop doing the manual jobs. Yeah, when you need to have a screenshots, your checks, the dates, timestamp, how you're doing this. So, and we basically also try to automate it for you and give you already just the snapshot of a dashboard when you can validate the results. But you can stop doing this manually, or you can stop doing this on your own. Let's jump to reporting and audit layer. You know that there are some limitations in reports, especially some other European countries. Like, I wouldn't say that Germany is struggling a lot, but for example, in France, you will need to do a lot of manual input for VAT form, VAT returns, and whatnot. So what we're doing, we're currently creating customized VAT returns, which is more flexible when you can work with them and do adjustments and do the reporting. And also we have a roadmap how to cover the API connection to different tax authorities around the Europe to file the VAT reports. What we also did, in addition to this, we just have an assortment of different VAT reporting dashboards, which I will be showing in a moment, which is covering all countries. Like you can use not only German Nexus or some specific country Nexus, but which is important for C4. You can see the numbers all across Europe, all across your system, because the majority of you is using one world. And obviously you have a different calendars and whatnot. So we're trying to bring you more compliance, more transparency with our dashboards, so you can use it later in your daily life. So this is a snapshot of a dashboard which you already seen, Ask Alta Via, and now I would love to show you a short video. So basically you can navigate to our dashboards from the main menu, and here you have a specific, like a page when we collected all our dashboards. You can change the layout, of course, so you can personalize it as much as you need. You can delete something which is not necessary, right? You can remove it or set it up. Can be done in different ways. So basically here in front of us, you see the C4 dashboards, when you can track your VAT assets and liabilities by subsidiary, by periods, by asset or liability type. You can see the numbers. So basically it gives you an opportunity to check what is paid, what should be paid, and how it looks like. So we have a pie chart, and obviously we have a graph, and you can also see it by periods. So this is more like a top level C4 style, when you just want to see the numbers and you can check them by countries. Obviously I already mentioned VAT dashboard. So here, good news, everything is validated, no VAT is missing. But in overall, if you have any errors, you have a dashboard with this error. So when you can sort it by type of customer, vendor, countries, you can see different error codes. So VAT numbers, what is validated, error description, which is important so you can understand it, last check timestamp, and also an opportunity to open the record and check what is happening there. Ask Alta Via status, which we already covered a bit. So you see the outlook for all transactions which we checked. You can also check by subsidiaries, by tax period. Also, which is important, the status, right? You want to see what was done, where the errors are, what was changed. And it gives you an outlook how you can navigate through your transactions. Also, there is a list. You can also walk through the list and check what was done. So this is a huge list of changes, as an example. Another dashboard, which is also, I think, important when it checks if there is a discrepancy between your general ledger, balance sheet, and VAT report. Same story, you can do it by Nexus. You can view the details also of transactions. You can navigate to the transactions and check, yeah, what is the reason of this discrepancy. Means that transaction appears on general ledger but not in tax report and vice versa. And also there is a dashboard with the tax periods, which is still open. I think this is necessary to see usually because it's usually missed. It's not all of the dashboards, so we have approximately 10 of them. The most one, which is basically help you to navigate through the main records and help you in your daily life. Please come to us and we can show you later how it works. I'm sorry, I skipped the slideshow. Once again, just please come to us so we can talk to you how it works, and if you need anything else. Basically, we'll love to get your feedback on this topic. And the last layer, which I also wanted to cover, is once again the assurance that the setup and delivery is very quick and swift. So we have a centralized setup, one configuration when you can see tax logic, so and everything in your hands. So basically, you do not need to roam around the system to go to setup and whatnot. It has the same logic as we have for other products with our other dashboards for localization Germany or Dunning. And you can configure all countries on one page, all countries and all subsidiaries. Activate features as well. And also, we're very proud we're trying to do the help pop-up windows really well written in at least in two languages, English and German. We're moving further to other languages as well. But all in all, this is a huge work done by the team, so you can really feel comfortable on how things are configured and how we can control it. So, in overall, I really hope this presentation was helpful for you. So we have presented you all our 4 layers, all our components of our bundles. So it gives you an opportunity to automatically calculate VAT, accurately post it in the system and then report it, and present audit-ready financial data to auditors and tax authorities. So I will call Arthur to come back to me and probably have many questions, so which we can cover.
Yes, thank you, Natalia. Exceptional overview. So really, we want to bring audit and compliance not outside of NetSuite, but keep it inside of NetSuite with all the struggles in Europe, with more changes in law coming, with the new e-invoicing mandate, and many new changes in tax rates. So we will help you out, we will have you covered, we will stay compliant. And since we want really to get to know more around your business, feel free to scan our QR code. We also offer a few trial versions for the first 5 customers to see, have a look and feel for the new applications. And to all our partners, don't be afraid to reach out again. This is an application that we want to bring to Europe, keep it native to NetSuite, keep it compliant and also safe within the walls of Oracle. And with that being said, we will follow up with the recording. And thank you again for joining us today, and have a lovely day, and we will speak soon.